about things, Hewlett-Packard and Xerox, is a company that is a 40-year-old company known as the world's largest enterprise software company, SAP. And that's where I work, not too far from here. So my story is really about SAP and how traditionally we've been perceived in the marketplace as a large, behemoth, expensive, slow, sluggish elephant, if you will, in the technology jungle. And SAP has had quite a reputation for that and realized probably 7 or 8 years ago that it needed to transform itself if it was going to go successfully for another 40 years. And so there were a number of initiatives that the company embarked on to step outside of its legacy as an enterprise software company. And I'll talk about a couple of those in a minute. Just generally, SAP is an incredible company to work for. Personally, I am so proud to be an employee of SAP for so many reasons. Some of them, just here today, I see sitting next to one of our customers, Home Depot, Vodafone. Everywhere I go, there are customers who are our users, and it makes me very happy. You may have observed some of my self-deprecating humor as well, because often I'm embarrassed. And I'm embarrassed because I've heard more times than not, I hate that system. Oh, if I have to figure out one more keystroke, I'm going to kill somebody. And it's embarrassing. I mean, I didn't create it, but I'm so connected to the company that I work for that I feel embarrassed. And maybe there's a sensitivity to being connected to being an elephant. So a few years ago, we embarked on taking the company outside of its legacy heritage and made an acquisition of a company called Business Objects. And Business Objects is a known company in the analytics software space, which allowed our customers to not only capture hundreds, thousands, millions of transactions, but then visualize and make decisions from those transactions. And that was an absolute failure. We spent billions of dollars to then see people walk out the door, talented people who are now leaders of very competitive startups. And it was heartbreaking. Over the next couple of years, we acquired a few more companies, not quite as large. And the devastation continued. Our share price continued to decline. People continued to leave. And we all kept the happy face, the pride of being SAP employees, the legacy that the company had around, and tried to keep going. Our new CEOs spoke with us 30 days after they were put in place, early 2010, and we were really excited to hear from them and learn about some of the new plans going forward. We were in the cafeteria just down the road, looking at them by satellite on the big screen, and instead of telling us about the rosy future ahead, what they said is, this company will be out of business, will be obsolete by 2030 if each and every one of us don't make a change when we leave this meeting today. And if we're not obsolete, if we don't completely go out of business, we will be bought. And they proceeded to tell us why we were extremely vulnerable of being purchased. And regardless of which happened, the fact was there would be no more SAP. And for me personally, I did walk out of that meeting and was completely committed to making a difference each and every day, just like the startups around here in the Silicon Valley. And I can tell you that the tens of thousands of people around me who heard that did the same. And fast forward to today, I can say that we have recently made 3 substantial acquisitions recently without the attrition or the decimation that we've seen in the past. Our stock price is doubled, and I think that we are well on our way to the next 40 years in our technology history.
Thank you, Dawn. That was a little bit long.
Sorry.
That's all right. But looking at what you edited out, you waxed philosophical for a while to start about how awesome SAP was, how you want to work there. It's such a great company. Oh my God, it's so exciting. Even better than that, that setup was probably true to, I believe you that you feel that about it. That could have been brought down to about 1.5 cents.
Okay.
In particular, we are the largest enterprise company on the bloody planet. 10 years ago, with business analytics, business objects. In a multi-billion-dollar transaction, we acquired business objects to offer more modern offerings to our customer base, and we absolutely blew it. And then pick it up from there and pitch it as we went. There was employee attrition, complete destruction, billions of dollars vaporized in value. Oops, where'd that go? We don't know. Shareholder revolts to boots, people walking up from startups, we're now eating our lunch again. That moment was great once you got to like the disaster that had occurred. But the setup went so long as disengagement. I'm like, I get it, I'm proud of working with Pixar too. I'm just moving these. Move on.
Okay, right.
In a sense, because asserting dominance in the field can just be claimed. The more you emphasize it, the more it feels like justifying it.
Right.
Which actually weakens your case.
Right.
So thinking we're the #1 enterprise software company in the world, made an acquisition, and suddenly started completely blowing chunks, generating competitors out of our own disaster, like eating our own lunch, making this thing worse. Holy cow, what a mess! You're probably going to die. And the new CEO putting in, not right, I can keep asking as it is, but that emphasizes the part more of the journey that you went through as an organization, and less about you and your particular emotional connection to the company,
Right.
which you could also tell a story about too.
Right.
But there's enough SAP change, I think that's where you're talking about its own right, but that is a pretty dramatic story. I did not know that, so I was happy to follow along with you, but it's got a little part out.
I think this is definitely an example of where you could be a lot more efficient in your storytelling and figuring out exactly what facts they are. And oftentimes when we want to tell a story, figuring out, first, which part of the story do we want to tell? Do I want to tell my personal story? Do I want to tell the company story? And what are those 2 arcs in there? And then thinking about the specific facts that you can take your whole story, write it down, and pull out the 5 facts that you really think are going to tell that story. You can tell that story in 30 seconds that you told us here. I don't know if that is maybe once or so. You can definitely, okay, sorry. You can definitely do that in 30 seconds, that entire story. Now, I think that the story I found most interesting here is you have a connection to this company that I don't understand at all. This company is large, it's a behemoth, it's slow, it's all these things that you find embarrassing.
Your CEO's on a satellite, like a block away.
Yeah.
Like, what's
Oh,
going on?
no. From a
Yeah.
different location.
A different planet, right? I'm sorry. Not here at all. That was a shocking. Yeah.
But it was very clear to me the whole time that you do care very passionately about this company. Tell me about that. Tell me why it is that you love working there, why it is that you feel embarrassed, why it is that you somehow have this connection to this elephant, you somehow empathize with this elephant. Elephants are good, they've got good traits. Think about sort of how you can relate that personal story, make me love your company as much as you love your company, and give me reasons to do that. And as it goes through these periods of turmoil, why are you sticking with it? And why is it that when this CEO shows up in 2010, I have no idea why you left that meeting wanting to actually commit more to the company. What did he say? What did he do? What did you personally decide that you were going to help this elephant do? In some way changing so that you can continue to stay there, continue to do what you love. I couldn't figure that out, and that's what I want to hear, because if I can feel what you feel for your company, I'm going to love SAP, even though I'm doing what they do.
To that point, this is the case of show me, don't tell me. You were telling me how proud you were and how excited your company was. I need to know the details of why. Because if you assert that, you can assert, I'm #1 and the biggest enterprise software company on the planet. I don't need to get by that. It's an assertion of truth. But I'm so proud to work there, and I'm so excited the job is the best ever. It's a statement of a conclusion. All details behind that are all the interesting parts. We're like, okay, I guess you love it. Like, great. As opposed to, just you said, why was that the case? It can't just be the desk and the chair that doesn't in the office. There's more behind that. But you took it all out, so I didn't know what that was. So, cool. Next one.
Maybe it comes from the dark days breed loyalty.
Yes.
opportunity these dark days, and explaining why and how. That it's incredible. Every company has it. And there's some companies that don't foster it and breed loyalty, there's other companies that do. Michael?